Sometimes how you come across somebody once in a while you shouldn't have messed with. That's me.
I am not an African American.
You're an Oreo cookie. White in the inside and black on the outside.
I don't have an afro. I have an Amerifro.
Talking that idiotic stuff you talk about, I would slap you.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Black as the ace of spades, but 100% American.
Heard around the world by everybody and their mama. The Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I am Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Taking your phone calls at 888-775-3773, 888-77-JESSE. Most of you remember that story last week, where Susan G. Komen Foundation said they would not fund Planned Parenthood any longer. And then under pressure, they recanted, and now they will fund Planned Parenthood. I have with me Jill Filipovic. She is a feminist blogger, writer, and lawyer based in New York. Jill, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I appreciate you being here. You recently wrote an opinion article for the New York Daily News when Susan G. Komen Foundation first pulled their funding for Planned Parenthood. You disagree with the decision, saying that anti-Planned Parenthood sentiments about abortion and about hostility to women and particularly to female sexuality. Now that they have reversed the order, they will be funding Planned Parenthood. How do you feel?
I think it was a good decision on Komen's part to walk that choice back. Planned Parenthood provides thousands and thousands of breast cancer screenings and mammogram referrals, especially to low-income women. And that kind of mission should be exactly what the Susan G. Komen Foundation is supporting.
Why do you think they caved into the pressure of the liberal media and the liberal Democrats and the bloggers and others? Why did they cave in? Because Planned Parenthood does not perform mammograms themselves. They send them out. They refer them to other people. They are mostly about abortion, and they performed over 300,000 abortions a year. Why would a foundation such as Susan G. Komen reverse their decision?
Abortion, first of all, is only 3% of Planned Parenthood's total services, and cancer screening is 17%. So while Planned Parenthood doesn't perform mammograms on site, really no primary care providers perform mammograms on site. That's what radiologists are for. So even, when women like me who go to private doctors, when we get breast exams, if something comes up that's unusual, we get referred out also. So Planned Parenthood isn't doing anything unusual in that instance. They're doing what every other gynecologist in the country does. As for why Komen decided to reverse the decision, I think that they underestimated how angry women were going to be when they realized that, for totally political reasons, a cancer organization was pulling money from cancer screenings.
As a woman, how do you feel knowing that Planned Parenthood performs at least 300,000 abortions per year? Does that bother you at all as a woman?
No. Abortion is a legal procedure in the United States. It's a procedure that many, many women need in their lives. 1 in 3 American women will have an abortion in her life. Ideally, we all want to lower the abortion rate and prevent abortions. Planned Parenthood is actually really key in that strategy. Planned Parenthood is one of the biggest providers of contraception, especially to low-income women in the United States.
You can say that again. They are part of that strategy. They're killing every child that they could inside the woman's womb. So they're definitely is supporting that.
Well, contraception prevents pregnancy in the first place. So by providing contraception in large numbers, Planned Parenthood is actually lowering the abortion rate. And, providing abortions, which is a legal medical procedure, no, I don't think that it's shameful, and I don't think that it's something that Planned Parenthood should apologize for, and it's not something that upsets me.
And when they talk about poor people, are they talking about black women?
And they're talking about all women, and yes, black women are disproportionately low income in this country.
Right, and right now, according to blackgenocides.com, There are Planned Parenthood abortion mills. There are 70% of their abortion mills are located in the inner cities. And every day, over 1,500 black babies are murdered inside the black woman's womb. When you hear that, does that bother you at all that so many black children are being murdered inside the black woman's womb? Are you bothered by that many black people are killed every day?
It bothers me that you're suggesting that black women are committing genocide against their own children. I mean, that's a pretty horrible thing to say.
Well, no, Planned Parenthood is doing it, committing genocide in the black community. But as a white woman, does that bother you that that many black people are being murdered every day?
What bothers me is the suggestion that black women should not have the same reproductive rights as everyone else. I think all women should have the choice whether or not to continue a pregnancy. And I think that legally forcing women to continue a pregnancy against their will is a horrific violation that we shouldn't stand for in the United States.
But how about the life of the person that's inside of them? Do they deserve a chance to have a life, to live? Do they deserve the freedom to live?
I think that the woman who's pregnant deserves the freedom to decide whether or not she wants to give birth.
I know, but how about the child inside the woman's womb?
I think that what you're talking about are competing rights, right, between a zygote or a fetus and an adult woman who has a life and a body and has a whole set of interests. And I do think that that adult woman is the one that should be able to decide whether or not she spends 9 to 10 months of her life pregnant and then the next 18 plus years being a parent. That's a huge commitment. I think parenthood and life is incredibly important and is beautiful. And I think that for that reason, parenthood should be entered into completely voluntarily and that we shouldn't be legally forcing women to become parents when they're not ready or when they don't want to.
Let me ask you a quick question. Women are being portrayed, especially in the media, we see it in movies, we see it on TV a lot, as being smart, and especially being smarter than men. And they're working overtime to try to prove that. If women are so smart, these women who are deciding to have abortions, why wouldn't they make that decision before getting pregnant? They would decide, you know what, I don't want to have a baby, so I'm not going to get pregnant. And let's say that they accidentally get pregnant. Rather than deciding to kill a child inside of their bodies, why wouldn't they decide, well, I'm a woman, I'm real smart, I'm going to put this baby up for adoption rather than killing it? And why is that? Why don't they, if they're as smart as they're being portrayed, why don't they make sense in their decisions in this area?
Well, I think you're implying that maybe women are stupid, which I don't think is the case.
You think smart? You think a smart, wise woman would decide, unless her life was at risk, would she decide to kill a baby if she was a smart woman?
Smart women, stupid women, women of all stripes and all intelligence levels and all backgrounds terminate pregnancies for a wide variety of different reasons. I think obviously nobody wants to get to the point where they're terminating a pregnancy. All of us would like.
That's not true. Most women,
pregnancy.
All the stats shows that most women have abortions because it's an inconvenience or they're mad at the father. So it's not true what you're saying. Most abortions are not necessary, according to all the stats. So isn't that a good question, though? If the woman is so smart as the media is trying to portray her, if these women are so smart as the media and TV and everybody and their mama trying to make them out to be, why don't they have common sense when it comes to making a decision about the life of another person inside of their bodies?
Well, because I think it's not a matter of being smart or stupid. It's a matter of women know best for their own lives whether or not they can handle a pregnancy and parenthood. And that's why I think we should leave the choice up to women. Because really, you or I don't know, if woman X all the way over there, what's best for her life. She does.
I know what best for the child is inside of her body, that's for sure. You say that this is why women should make the decision. I remember during the good old days when boys were boys and men were men, and men were the head of women the way that it should be. You didn't have this type of stuff happening in this manner where 300,000 children were murdered every year by, an abortion mill. because men protected women, they guided women, they helped women to make the right decisions in life. But since men are not over women in the manner that they should be and have left these women to themselves, all hell is broke loose. They're making bad decisions about families, about everything. But this one, I don't know if anything is worse than this. So women, not all, but especially liberal women, it's not good to leave them to themselves. They don't have a sound mind, and this is an example of that. Would you agree to that?
No, and I think if you look at the statistics, since the advent of birth control, since abortion has been legal, since feminism has made major gains for women, rates of domestic violence have gone down, rates of sexual assault have gone down.
Domestic violence
has gone down.
Domestic violence may have gone down as far as men attacking women, but it's gone up with women attacking men. So it didn't get better. It just switched roles.
I'm not actually sure that that's true.
No, it's absolutely true.
Actually, the number of women who kill their husbands has gone down significantly now that women can get divorced from husbands who are abusive to them. Fathers and mothers both spend more time with their children than they did in the 50s and 60s.
Not true.
That actually is true.
No, not true.
There have been several studies on that. Overall, families are actually doing pretty well, and gender egalitarian marriages tend to be stronger.
You do what the liberals do, rather than admitting that, yeah, that's right, and we should think about what we're doing and do it the right way. You don't tell the truth about the situation. Men and women, fathers and mothers, if they're together at all, both of them are out working. So neither parent is spending as much time with their children as they did when men were the head of women. And kids are complaining about that all the time. These women are putting their children in preschool, baby schools, the moment they pop out of their wombs, because they're in competition with men. They want to go out and work and act like a man. So what you're saying is absolutely not true. It just blows my mind how liberals, when they see that they have screwed up, they won't admit it. They just come up with something else.
Well, I guess I would encourage you to go read some of the studies on this issue. There was a study by the sociologists Suzanne Bianchi, John Robinson, and Melissa Milkey, who showed that married mothers in 2000, they spent 20% more time with their children in 2000 than they did in 1965. Married fathers spent twice as much time. The number one reason that women terminate pregnancies is because of financial reasons, because they can't afford a child.
Would they get pregnant if they didn't have sex before marriage?
Something like 97% of Americans have sex before marriage, so I think that the horse...
No, but would they get pregnant? Would they get pregnant if they didn't have sex before marriage?
No,
right.
Unless they're raped.
Jill,
rape
thank you.
And married women have abortions also.
Jill, thank you so much for being with me, all right? I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
This has been the Jesse Lee Peterson Radio Show, produced by Bond Action. To access the full version of this show, visit us on the web at bondaction.org.